Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Best Mountain Farm. And this afternoon we are going to continue with our Porch 2 room project. So first thing we've got to do, we just wanted to get the wood and stuff in the dry, but we need to scoot the wood back. Well, we're going to have to be moving it a few times, unfortunately, to keep it from getting rained on. But we're going to start putting our walls up. So we're going to build our walls, you know, in place, laying down here, so we can stand them up and fasten them instead of trying to do it one set at a time and toenailing it. And Aidan is yelling at Copper because we've been smelling something. We could not figure out what the horrible smell was. And then we remembered when Yaya and Papa You lived here, this was Yaya's garden area. And Yaya uses lots of cow crap, compost, black cow manure and stuff. And so there's a whole lot of them in this area. It just rained, and you can look at the top of Copper.
He thought it'd be fun to go play in it.
He thought it smelled delicious. So he's been rolling in that compost, and now he smells horrible. So if you hear us shooing or see us shooing him away or hear us fussing at him to get away, it's because he smells like a walking bag of cow manure, literally. Poor Copper. Poor
Copper.
You smell so bad. Somebody's getting a bath.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be the one doing it. Make Yaya do it.
All right, well, let's start getting everything moved here. All right, so we were able to look at the weather. Luckily, we were able to just move it one time. It's not going to rain, so get everything off the porch, and now it's just going to be cutting and then assembling and
Walling.
yeah, putting walls up one at a time. And we're just going to put the walls up, and then we're going to cut the window. We'll do the window openings after we get the walls up, so we can decide exactly where we want to put everything. Also, I'm gonna put all the studs 24 inches on center instead of 16 inch on center, because none of them are at all load bearing. Plus we're using rough cut lumber, so a lot thicker material, and I can get the insulation in 24 inch sections, which will make it a lot easier. So that being said, only one thing left to do. porch were put in, they were toenailed. So you see where I have my measurements, it would have stuck out and caused problems with the wall because I want the wall to fit fairly tight. So what I'm doing now is I'm showing Aidan how we're going to fix this, and I'm going to let him do it. So we're just going to put our punch right here on that nail. That's all I got to do. Just drive those in like that until they're flush, and go all the way around and get all of them that are toenailed like that.
Yep.
Don't hit them real hard because we still want them to hold, and our measurements will still be good. So I've already got this one marked. We're going to lay the walls out. There's a fairly easy way to do it, but you don't really have to do any math. So my cameraman's not paying attention here. All right, so we're doing 2 foot on center. So we're going to go from the end of our board here, and we're going to put our mark and then an X. So we're going to go 4. X 6 X 8 X.
So what's the X for?
So we know that our first stud is going to go right here, right on top of this, lined up here. So now we know where our X is. This is the side of the line that our stud's going to go. So all we got to do now is put each stud right over top of the X, and now we're going to be 2 foot on center on every one of our studs. So instead of trying to figure out the math and get it all right, and then obviously you've got one stud that's going to be off a little bit right here, but it's not going to matter because the rest of them are all going to be 2 foot on center from where you need them to be. So it makes it a lot easier for putting up drywall and finding out where your studs and stuff are. So now we got both of these marked. I got the air compressor cranked up. So all I got to do is set it here, square it, put it together, and then hopefully, with any luck, it'll fit in our space there. It's always one of those interesting things to find out and see if you did all the math right. now you can see without having to do any measuring or like math, I know as long as I put my stud.
Is that my car?
I know as long as I put my stud right there on the line, that center to center, I'm gonna be 2 foot. And I didn't have to try and even look through anything other than measure every 2 feet. Same thing if you're doing 16 inches on center. You just measure every 16 inches. And then you're good to go with your wall.
So,
How's that
lip on that wood. Is it gonna go over it?
Nope. There we go, like a glove. And the reason it was so tight, because one of these porch planks, the outside one, had just raised up a little bit, probably from weather and whatnot. So, but nice thing is now this wall is very solid, not going anywhere. So all I got to do now is take and shoot some nails around it, move the saw over here, move that stuff, and just keep building walls so we have them all done. So for this one, to keep 2 foot on center all the way across, so when we start putting in our plywood, or I'll start putting our drywall in to make sure all the studs are even and make them easier to screw in, we went from here to here, which was 15 inches. So what we're doing is we're just keeping our 2 foot on center from this stud. And then from there, we're going to go 2 foot. So now there'll be a stud every 2 feet, even though this one's a little bit closer. And since this one's so close to the edge, we don't even need to, it also saves wood because we don't even need to put a stud here because we're going to be attached to top and bottom anyway. So saves a little bit of wood and just makes things a little bit easier. Teaching Chelsea here
How to use a fucking tape.
the skills. Trying to find some soap. Wash your mouth out. All right, so now we'll get this one up and then start on the smaller ones. All right, so GoPro battery went dead a little bit, but we managed to get this one in. And what had happened, same thing, these deck boards being uneven, there's about a 1/4 inch difference. So I was able to just take the Sawzall and cut basically a little lip so that that bottom could come up. So that wall's in there nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. So now we have 3 more. We have small one here and 2 small ones on each side there. And then once that's done, they'll just be getting started on door openings and window openings. So we can start insulating, drywalling, and all that kind of stuff. All right, well, I'd say it was a pretty successful afternoon. We got all our walls up, and so now we're ready to get started. Next step will be getting our wire and starting our insulation and tie-backs and all that kind of stuff. So we have to get on a sawmill, finish cutting all our board and batten. And since I decided to go 24 inches on center, we have more than enough 2x4s. That's one reason I wanted to do it. And then right here, obviously those are a little bit wider, but this is going to be where the door is. So I'll have the door header that's going to tie that together. And with this being fastened on 3 sides, it is absolutely more than adequate. Over here, we've got to case out for our door to put it in the center. Or not case out, we got frame out for our door, so that we can move that door over. Windows, just all the little things. But I always like framing because it's instant gratification, and you see it looks like so much work has been done. It's from this point on that it's like, oh, we haven't gotten anything done. It starts to grind. It's the little stuff, you don't really see it getting finished. Like wiring stuff, you don't really notice it. But framing stuff and demolition, it's like immediately, a couple hours later, and you see like how much work you've done. So, and on that note, I think I'm gonna grab my sweatshirt again because the sun went behind the mountains and it instantly starts to get cold. Like 5 minutes, as soon as that sun went behind that ridge, temperature dropped about 10 degrees. So we are going to wrap it up for the night. Make sure and like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any more on this project and get to see the finished product. And thanks for watching.